Hey everybody, this is Wheels of Destruction. So this game is going to be published with the store update a little later on today. You can read the review now. It's probably up above this video. But so I gave it a 2 out of 5. And there's a lot of reasons to that, really. This game is not terrible. There are even there are even moments where I've had fun with this game. But I think when it comes down to it, there are way too many things that I'll show you through this video that are just bad or they're broken, that really kind of take away from what this game could be, because I think it's got the ideal going. Like, I think, it could make a good car combat game if they kind of went back and fixed a lot of the things that are bad about it. I think maybe there are some things that they would have to overhaul to really fix it. But so it's kind of let's look into here to see what's going on with this game. So you have the main menu. Something to note, and I think I might have just gotten pretty unlucky. So like the first 4 or 5 times I booted this game up, and this menu came up, the menu hard locked on me twice out of the first 5 times that I booted the game up. Now it hasn't happened since, so I'm thinking I might have just gotten pretty unlucky with that. But a thing to note, like if that starts happening, yeah, I don't think it will. Like, it hasn't happened since. It happened twice, but ever since then it has not happened. So I didn't really note that in the review, but it's there. It happened. It also hard locked when I quit out the game earlier tonight. So that's great. So if we enter let's go to options first. So options, you control music, effects, voice, whatever. Adjust the screen, something weird. So you know how games will they'll give you those arrows so you can adjust the screen to make it fit. This game didn't do that. Like, it started out at full, so I had to go into the options menu myself, like, after noticing from playing a game that something was off, and had to kind of fix it. So the controls. You see the controls here. So, you have your acceleration and brake on L2, R2, fires on R1, alt fires on L1, and you have all the other controls. Now you would think that, going to the next scheme of controls, that they would flip all these buttons around and, make a control a little bit different. No, if you go to control 2, all it does is acceleration and brake are now on L1 and L2, and fire and alt fire are on R1 and R2. Now, why that's a problem, I'll explain a little bit later, but that's a major problem, I think. So then we can go to Garage. Garage has rewards that you can unlock. Rewards are basically badges. So if you 1,000, I think one of them is getting 10,000 kills with 3 tires. A lot of them are asking a lot of you, and they'll take a while to complete. I've only got 3 of them, and there are loads, over 20 or so. There's a lot of them. Extras are basically just kind of concept art. Then here are your 5 car classes. So you have we'll go over those later. Then you have your different weapons that you can pick up, different pickups or ammo pickups. I guess there will be DLC pickups soon. I don't know. So repair pickups, shield pickups, what you would expect. And then they give you some hints. I guess the thing though, you can if you go airborne, you can do back flips and front flips. So, doing something like performing a perfect 720, which is a double somersault, you can fully recharge your shields. You won't be doing a whole lot of that. It's cool that it's there though. Boosting, stuff like that, right? So let's actually hop into a game. You play offline or you play online. You can spectate too. Offline, there's no campaign mode. There's nothing that you're gonna be going through. You hop in and you play. You can choose a map. You can choose a mode. And this is this decides how you choose your classes. So sometimes it will randomly choose your classes for you, and then sometimes you get to choose them every round. Do classic. Alright, so and then you have 5 maps. So you have Paris, you have Seattle, you have London, Tokyo, and Rome. The thing with these maps are they feel like I feel like they made these maps, you know, with the idea that it's in post-apocalyptic world and kind of futuristic, and then they like slap the city name on them, and then after slapping the city name on the map, they were like, well, we probably should put something on that map to make it look like you're in that city. So, for example, if you're in Seattle and you were like positioned the camera right and maybe got a little air off a jump, you could see in the background that there's a Space Needle that's kind of knocked over a little bit and leaning to the right. So like every map has like this one thing in it that is like, oh, okay, I know why. Like this is the city I'm in because I see that landmark. Um, so we'll do Seattle, and then we can do Capture the Flag, Classic, and then max 12 players. So these are all just gonna be bots that you're playing with. I feel like when you're playing on a team, which we will be now, I think the enemy AI feels a whole lot smarter than you are. While my team AI doesn't really like do a whole lot, which you know. So you start out, you know, you choose your thing. This is the game, right? So it's gonna let me, you know, just press select whatever I'm ready to go. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit, but so your R2 accelerates. You're going. You can jump. Circle is your turbo. The thing with turbo is like, you know what, I'm choosing this car. Like I think this is the Scout. I can choose this car and it's going pretty fast. You know, my turbo is pretty good. But I'll show you like next is like if I choose the heavy, you know, the heavy is just super slow. The turbo doesn't really do anything for it. And like it seems weird to have turbo that doesn't last very long. It doesn't really seem to actually have a whole lot of an effect on you unless you're using like one specific car. So here's the big thing. So going straight, you know, it's fine. But using the left analog stick, you control the camera, right? So this is me just controlling the camera. So I'm not actually steering the car. So like controlling the camera, you know, moving it to the right, you know, my car is kind of turning, but I have to like almost have the camera like in a specific like dead zone area on the screen to actually get this car to turn. Because if I have the camera like over here, this car is not gonna be turning with me, right? You can kind of like hold R2, which is like your brake, and then square, which is like kind of your emergency brake, to kind of turn a little better. But it's still not that great. And it only gets worse when you're like caught in a firefight between like different vehicles, because you cannot. It's really hard to actually control it. So you see, I waited too long to press select, so it's gonna start the game for me. So we're gonna actually start playing here. But yeah, like the controls are just not good, and so especially like, when your main problem is that you can't really control your car. Like there is no steering. I don't even know why they call it steering, because it's just camera control, and your car just kind of steers because of it, and it doesn't. You know, you're not given the control that you want, especially from a car combat game. It's kind of crappy, and so when that control scheme 2 does not change that, there's kind of a problem, right? So I thought I picked up their flag, but I guess I didn't. The thing with Capture the Flag is, I've noticed this a lot, is every once in a while my other teammates might they might go and pick up the flag, but they very rarely do, and so most of the time it's me doing it. That won't really be a problem, because you should probably play online more. That's where the game is a little bit better online, I guess. And then let's see, so I'm going to show you. So each weapon has an alt fire. So your main weapon you start out with is like machine gun and or Gatling gun kind of thing. Has a shotgun alt fire. So if I'm gonna turn around, see if I can get up close to one of these guys. The shotgun is super overpowered. Um, at least playing online, I felt like I could get I could get just a one-shot kill almost every single time that I use a shotgun, and I would miss that time, obviously. Shotgun has a kind of a long reload, so you can't do it super fast against like multiple vehicles. But I still think it's way too overpowered. And I think I missed again. So you also have this Gatling gun. And then you can pick up other ones that you can switch to with triangle or the D-pad. So you have this laser cannon. And then you have a flamethrower. Flamethrower seems to work pretty well. You can catch cars on fire occasionally. Except there was one time Chris and I were playing online, and like I literally cornered him into the wall, and I had my flamethrower going the entire time until I ran out of flamethrower. And he was telling me that it did absolutely no damage to him at all. So I don't know exactly what was up with that. That was kind of weird. But this is Wheels of Destruction, and it's not very good. Something that I can't really demo here. The voice chat in this game is broken. It works, and you can kind of use it to carry on some kind of coherent conversation, but I wouldn't recommend doing it. It's extremely choppy, to the point where like Chris, Eric, and I were discussing the game earlier tonight. We were playing online, and like one of them like asked a question, and I answered it, but I'm pretty sure I answered the question that I thought I heard, which was not the question that they asked, because I only heard like 3 of the words that they would say. And that's how it was constantly. There was, like, occasionally you could hear maybe a full thought that someone would say, but most of the time you would only hear a couple words, and it was constantly cutting in and out. So even like trying to play this game with a thought that maybe you could at least like, you know, make fun of it, or like just laugh and joke and just talk to like your friends while playing it and just having a good time, that's not gonna happen either, because the voice chat just doesn't work at all. This game's not very good. It could be. I think there are parts of this that are kind of cool. I like the futuristic kind of vibe that it has. I like a lot of the maps. A lot of the maps are pretty fun to drive around in. You didn't see it in this video, but the Rome map has a lot of like ramps where you're like flying across the arena and doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and that stuff is cool. The London map has a lot of that too. A lot of like just huge ramps that you're like flying off of, and that's fine. But the gameplay itself is not very good, and it's kind of boring. And it's like after a few maps, you kind of have your fill and you're done, and you're ready to just move on to something else. But you can read the review as well. That goes a little bit more in detail into some of the other faults that I had with the game. But I mean, if you're still interested, the game comes out later today. It's gonna be $10 on the PlayStation Network store. It's gonna have a discount for Plus members. Personally, I really don't recommend it though.